Before we get into our crazy weekends and all the fun we had, including the game yesterday, the Panther game, I was just reading this article. If your weekends feel like they're flying by...
You doing too much, man?
Yeah, basically, you're doing too much. A happiness researcher who wrote a book called Happy Hour, How to Beat Distraction, Expand Your Time, and Focus on What Matters. She ran a study with hundreds of people and told them to treat their 2 days off, not like a weekend, but a mini vacation.
Oh, well, I pack in stuff on vacation, so that makes sense for me.
People slept in a little longer, had more fun, didn't worry about knocking everything off their to-do list. Also, these people that she talked to must not have had kids, LauRen.
Right.
It might mean you might spend a little more time knocking out those chores on the weekdays. But if you truly want to enjoy a weekend and be refreshed for a Monday morning, then you need to treat your weekends like a vacation. Like the Saturday off, cram in all your chores and errands into a Sunday if you want. But other than that, just enjoy the weekend like a mini vacation.
Okay.
So start thinking of our mini vacations coming. I like that.
I like that too.
We had a good weekend at the Maney household Friday night. My son and I went up to Truist Field to go check out the UNCC 49ers take on App State in a hockey game. UNCC ended up winning, but it was cool to watch the outdoor hockey. And it was a good crowd. There was a good crowd at the stadium.
It's awesome.
For Friday night. So we did that. And then Saturday, we were up at Birkdale Village as we kicked off the holidays officially up in Huntersville, the Birkdale Village area.
Yep, we did their annual tree lighting. We saw Santa.
Yes.
We put in a good word for all of you.
Yeah, don't worry. We covered you.
I love anytime I take my kids to see Santa. And I didn't have them with me that night, but they're always like concerned if they're on the naughty or the nice list. And I'm like, better get your game right.
Yeah.
Tighten up that game.
Does the elf on the shelf visit your house?
Yes. But our elf doesn't come until December 1st.
Okay.
When yours come.
We never did. The elf never came to our house.
Oh.
Yeah. So we did that. And LauRen was all dressed up in holiday gear for our tree lighting. And I go, oh, because Amanda's like, wow, LauRen looks great. She's so dressed up. I go, yeah, but that's because she's going to a gala after this. She's like doing this thing and going to a gala. So I
like that you thought I was going to wear like, not a sundress, but like a day dress, boots, and a jacket to a gala.
Why not? I don't know.
I mean, it's not really gala attire, but okay.
I don't know that. I'm just saying, you looked dressed up. You look nice.
Thank you.
So I said to Amanda, yeah, she's going to a gala afterwards. And then she was like, oh, okay. And then LauRen's like, no, I'm not wearing this. I have to go change before I go to the gala.
I did the fastest Superman change of my life on Saturday night because we were already late. Like the gala started at 6 and I didn't even roll in until probably 6:45. I found Dallas, which took forever because he doesn't answer his phone.
I know I called you at one point to tell you something, and you go, oh, I thought you were Dallas. I got to go.
Yeah. Ran upstairs. Took me about, a minute and a half to change my jewelry and change my shoes. And then I was down at the gala by 7.
There you go. Well, good. So you made it.
I made it.
And what'd you wear to the gala?
A red cocktail dress with like a thing on the shoulder.
But you had your makeup and your hair done already.
Yeah,
so
it was
that
already,
was good.
Yeah, that was easy.
Well, what a Superman moment for you, getting dressed to go to a gala. What gala was it?
It was the March of Dimes gala.
Oh, nice.
But can I tell you something? Because I wore red, obviously, to the tree lighting, and then I wore red to the gala. So I threw red stuff in my bag for the next day because we were staying overnight at the Westin. And when I woke up in the morning and I put on all my red gear, I walked out, and then I realized that I was awkwardly in a sea of red because all of the Chiefs fans invaded Charlotte. And I was like, ooh, I chose this outfit so poorly.
Oh, yeah. We went, Dean and I went to the Chiefs-Panthers game yesterday, and shout out to the Panthers. They played really well. Mm-hmm. I did not stay to the last touchdown. I just did
When I texted you, you weren't there anymore?
No, we had left. We had left.
Oh, you never leave.
Why?
Because you missed all the action, dude.
No, dude, the Panthers lost.
I know, but they came
No,
back.
I didn't want to be around that.
Oh, my gosh.
Dude, I mean, the comeback is okay, but still, what do I want to do?
It was in your end zone.
I want to sit there and watch Patrick Mahomes roll off a 30-yard run and then kick the field goal for the win.
It was in your end zone, and it was so good.
We left
Dallas and I were screaming at the TV so much that people were, our family members were coming out of their bedrooms going, is everything okay?
Yeah. No, it was awesome, but there's no way we were winning that game. I'm sorry. We did well. We played really well. We had the 2-point conversion. Bryce Young looks like a different quarterback now, and I love all that. And we stayed, Lauren. We stayed until about 5 minutes in the fourth, and I go, we punted the ball down, and I go, let's just get out of here. Let's go grab a scooter and get back because we parked at the station. Anyway,
so mad at you.
I mean, we were watching. We knew I had it on my phone. We knew what was going on. But no, I did not stay, and I was not going to stay to watch Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs win in front of a bunch of red. No, I left. So anyway, the people behind us. Of course, I was breaking their chop. As soon as I got there, I was like, "Oh, we stink." So if we make this game close at all, Chiefs fans should be embarrassed.
Yeah.
I yelled that out.
Yes.
And so the guy behind me and I started talking a little bit. He's a Chiefs fan. Where are you from? Wyoming. Guy next to you. Where are you from? Idaho. Guy next to him. Where are you from? Illinois. I'm like, what are you all doing here? They're like, well, Charlotte's just such a great visit location. I was like, yeah, because you could come here, root for your other team. You're not going to get beat up like you would in Philly or Buffalo.
Right.
Or Pittsburgh, wherever you go. So you come here and it's easy. You got good weather. Yesterday's weather was beautiful, but they played really well. And no Taylor, though, right?
No Taylor.
Yeah. She had a concert in Toronto.
She was rapping Toronto.
And then somebody was tracking her plane, saying the plane's coming from Toronto to Kansas City, then perhaps to Charlotte. Anyway. It was a beautiful day for weather, and the Panthers played really well. But, yes, there was a sea of red at the bank yesterday. So if you sold your tickets and you're a Panther fan, it's your right to do that. But I felt like I was at Arrowhead Stadium where the Chiefs played for a minute yesterday. We talked about trends, like they start doing the end-of-year trends and the expectations for 2025.
Yes.
All these articles are coming out. Well, according to the Today Show, dog names for babies is a hot new trend. We talked about how older names for women babies like Fran, Francis, Ethel, those names were making a comeback.
What do you mean by dogs' names for babies? Like Fido?
Experts say that it's a compliment now to name your child. So-called dog nicknames are trending for humans, and there's nothing wrong for us using dog names for newborns. Cutesy names like Charlie, Daisy, Sophie, Ruby, Sadie, and Archie. Short and sweet names like Leo, Max, Chloe, and Luna.
Those all sound like human names to me.
See, as a dog owner, those sound like dog names.
Okay.
Like I've heard those names at the dog park before. True dog names like Bear, Banjo, and Blue.
Banjo.
Cool edgy names like Cooper, Maverick, Duke, Cash.
I like all those.
Cash.
I know.
Read through the American Kennel Club's dog lists of names for 2024, and you'll find a lot of familiar names like Stella, Daisy, Milo, Tucker, Finn. They're all perfectly appropriate for a person as well as a pet.
I like them as people names. I do. I think I would name. Woofer's original actual name.
Your dog, yes.
Before Woofer went to the vet.
Yes, he died. Yep.
I'm going to still pretend like he's at the vet. His actual name was Cody.
Right.
And then we just started calling him Woofer.
Yeah.
And then it stuck. And then people were confused. And they're like, wait, you have two dogs? You have Cody and Woofer? And I'm like, no, Cody is Woofer. Woofer is Cody.
How'd you get the name Cody?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know. He didn't come with that name. His name was Chocolate, like when we adopted
Poor
him.
thing had 5 names.
I know.
He's like Prince.
And then we started calling him Cody. And then when I met Dallas, he started calling him the Woofer. So
yeah, all sorts
the
of
dog was all kinds of confused.
Here's what I want to know, though. 6 o'clockers, you guys chime in and tell us if you have or you know a dog that is named after a human. I told you guys, I think it was over the summer, I was at the dog park, and one of the dog's names was Kevin. They were calling the dog Kevin. Kev, come here, Kev. I go, your dog's name is Kevin? And the guy was like, yep. And he didn't offer up why. Okay. And I didn't want to push and ask, I was just like, that's pretty funny. I
think that was the bird's name in Up, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's my brother's name. But I love dogs with human names.
So if you love a name, okay, and you name your dog that name, and then you have children, can you still use that name? Like, let's say you loved the name River.
Okay.
Okay. And you name your dog River growing up, and then you have a child. Can you also name your child River too?
Is the dog still with us? Because then it gets confusing.
Do it in both scenarios.
I wouldn't personally, but I
Okay.
don't think there's anything wrong with it, Understand we had a wide range of events today from the weekend. Let's hear what's going on our event line.
So now that it's getting closer to the end of the year and everybody's trying to put in their last minute vacation time, I have a little tip for all my coworkers. Basically, don't try to take my vacation.
Nice.
I had somebody ask me to swap vacation time, and I'm like, no. I mean, I booked my hotel, I booked the flight, everything is set. How could I possibly change? And they want me to change it and then make me seem like a jerk because I wouldn't do it.
Oh, no.
Seem like the bad person for that. I totally don't get it.
We pardon you.
Yeah, we pardon you.
Hey, so here is my issue. The holidays are here. They are upon us. And so,
A lot of people are figuring out the holidays are fastly here.
Yes.
there's going to be lots of food, and people like to push their food on people. Also, people are starting to like new things. Well, my issue is I hate when people pick people's yums. You know what I mean? Like cranberry sauce, for example. Some people like it. Some people really hate it. But I hate more than a lot of things when somebody's enjoying something and then all of a sudden somebody else looks over and goes, oh my God, you like cranberry sauce? It's just really, you know what? Like, put the spotlight back on yourself, dude.
Hey, listen, I'm pretty.
By the way, hold on before we
I
get to the
like
next
the
one.
gelled cranberry. How about that? I get that that's the reaction I'm like used to. You like gelled cranberry?
Yeah, that's kind of how she said it. You like that jug? Hold on, I want to hear that again.
Ew. It's just really.
No, wait, hold on. I missed it. You like cranberry?
Oh my God, you like cranberry sauce?
It's like Fallon when he does it's that character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, listen, I'm pretty annoyed lately with Tony Romo. I don't know what happened to him. He fell apart. I remember his commentary when he first came on. It was on point. Now he's just lost. You know, hey, Tony, what do you think of that play? Well, I don't know. I mean, I think if you pass, it's like, shut up, dude. If it takes you 10 seconds to like even get into a story, you're done. Bye-bye, Tony.
Oh, my God. Mad at Tony Romo. All right, there you go. There's the vent line. That's the best of the best. You can hit us up 704-666-1922 and go ahead and vent at any time, especially with the holiday season here. Get your vents out. The Butterball hotline, LauRen.
The Butterball hotline.
The turkey hotline.
Oh, yeah.
According to Southern Living, these are the top questions people ask the Butterball turkey hotline.
So you can call and talk to a specialist. Did we do this one year?
Roy did, and a senseless survey. I'll play that here in a second.
Okay.
One of Roy's senseless surveys. We haven't played those in a long time. Our old buddy Roy, who used to work on the show, used to call and ask ridiculous questions. But real quick, here's the real questions that were asked of the Butterball hotline. How to thaw a turkey. This is the most popular question the hotline gets. Hands down, the Butterball recommends the two best ways to safely thaw a turkey is in the fridge and
in water.
Cold water.
Yeah. If you are calling to ask the Butterball hotline that on Thursday morning, you're sunk. You will never, ever get that thing de-thawed. Ever.
How to tell whether the turkey is done is the second most common question that the Butterball hotline gets.
Don't they have the little pop-up things? I always take mine out.
The answer is with a meat thermometer.
Yeah.
It's your best friend on Thanksgiving Day. While 165 degrees is technically food safe, ideally the Butterball hotline says 170 degrees to 180 degrees. Lastly, the third most asked question for the Butterball hotline is how to cook a turkey. There's three ways to do it, from frying it, which is what I'm going to do, deep fry it, smoke it, but the Butterball experts have found the best ways is to open a roasting pan at 325 degrees.
We do all three in our house.
The time depends on the size of the turkey, and the guidelines is 15 to 20 minutes per pound.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have 3 turkeys this year?
Yes, we always do.
Full?
We fry one. I bake one. I do my champagne bird, and then we put a turkey breast on the smoker.
Yeah. That's the move. We're going to do a deep fried turkey and then a turkey breast. I think they're going to smoke it, which is going to be hard. I don't know. I'd rather eat it than smoke it. Hey, I'll play Roy's Butterball hotline. I haven't heard this in years. It says here the last time we played it was in 2022. So when Roy did his random survey and called the Butterball hotline, our old friend Roy, you guys, even if you don't know him, it doesn't matter. It's
really funny.
Hilarious. We wanted to play an old clip that our buddy Roy did on the show. He used to do something called the Senseless Survey, where he would call people and ask ridiculous questions. And he called the Butterball hotline and asked ridiculous questions. Here it is.
Welcome to Butterball. To be connected to our Butterball Turkey Talk line for information on turkey preparation and cooking assistance, press or say 3.
3.
Thank you for calling the Butterball Turkey Talk line. Your call may be monitored for quality purposes.
Thank you so much for calling the Butterball Talk line. What's your zip code?
28203.
28203. Okay, how can I help you today?
Yes, ma'am. How do I get the tan lines on a turkey?
You'll just use aluminum foil right around the edges.
Now, in Turkey, like the country Turkey, what do you think they eat for Thanksgiving?
Oh, I couldn't even begin to guess on that one.
Maybe turkey? In Turkey? Do you think that turkeys are jealous that chickens are always in the jokes? Like, why did the chicken cross the road?
I'm sure that they could be. Turkey is the best thing of this time of season.
Would a living turkey actually eat sliced turkey like from a lunch sandwich?
Well, at Butterball, we really only make sure that our turkeys are fed the best ingredients. I'm not sure about other turkeys.
Do you think, like, if a turkey ate turkey, that turkey would taste different or weird?
I think eating a turkey would definitely be very interesting.
Now, why did they call him Donkey Kong if he's not actually a donkey?
I'm not exactly sure on that one.
If there's an exception to every rule, is there an exception to that rule?
I don't know.
Ever heard like the phrase "Let's go Dutch"? Like if you're going to go to a restaurant and buy turkey, and someone say, "Hey, let's go Dutch." You ever heard of that phrase?
Only time I've ever heard that term is when you're going to buy your turkey.
Do Dutch people actually always split the bill, or do they ever, pick the bill up for each other?
Is there anything turkey related that I can help you with? Because I have a lot of calls coming in.
No, but thank you so much for not hanging up on me.
Sarah, welcome to the Maney and LauRen Morning Show.
Hey.
Hi, Sarah. You were playing Can't Beat LauRen today.
Yes.
Says here you're a first timer, Sarah.
I am.
You enjoy playing in the car and you do okay?
Yeah, I do pretty good.
All right. Listen, the name of the game is fun. She's got 66 wins. Let's see if she gets to 67. Throw her out.
Get out, Lorraine.
I'm going.
All right, Lauren puts her headphones down, grabs her coffee, grabs her phone, heads out to the hallway. She cannot hear these questions. It's quiet out there. There we go. Doors slammed. Question number 1. Adele played her last residency, her 100th show in this city. What city is that?
Ooh.
Think about where they do a lot of residencies. It's like a show city. Sin City. No answer?
No, I don't know that one.
All right, Wicked won the box office, raking in $114 million over the weekend. This movie starring Denzel Washington was number 2 with $55 million for their opening. Not bad either. What was that?
Gladiator.
This Brat singer announced a 5-date U.S. tour starting in April. Who gave us the Brat Summer?
Ooh. I don't know that one either.
Okay, question 4. Kim Kardashian caught heat for a photo shoot wearing rosary beads while being half naked in a picture supporting her designer undergarments. What brand does she own?
Kim.
And question 5. Apple TV's Wolves had the best streaming numbers ever for a feature film on Apple TV, but they say there will be no sequel. It stars Brad Pitt and his Ocean's 11 co-star. Who is he?
George Clooney.
All right, come on in, Ren. Come on in. The Ren is walking back into the studio.
Alrighty.
Hey, hi.
How'd she do?
No, she got 3 correct. Not terrible. Good job. Let's see how you do, LauRen.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Adele played her last residency, her 100th show in this city. What city is that?
Las Vegas.
Yeah, Las Vegas is the answer we were looking for. I tried to give her a couple of hints. Sin City, where all the shows happen, but she did not get that one right, so it's 1-0 Ren. Wicked won the box office, raking in $114 million over the weekend. And this movie, starring Denzel Washington, was number 2, bringing in a solid $55 million.
Gladiator 2.
That is correct, and they knew Sarah knew that one, so it's 2-1 Ren.
He's so good in the movie, by the way.
Great movie. This Brat singer announced a 5-date U.S. tour starting in April.
Charlie XCX.
There you go. There's somebody who doesn't love being on the road. 5 dates, huh?
That's it. That's all you get.
Grand opening, grand closing.
Yeah.
Charlie XCX, Sarah. She didn't know that one, so it's 3-1 Ren. Kim Kardashian caught heat for a photo shoot wearing rosary beads while half naked in her designer undergarments. What brand is that?
Skims.
That is correct. Sarah knew that. 4-2 Ren. And Apple TV's Wolves had the best streaming numbers ever for a feature film on Apple TV, although there's not going to be a sequel, they say. It stars Brad Pitt and his Ocean's 11 co-star. Who is he?
The very handsome George Clooney.
That is correct. Sarah had no problems answering that one. So final score, LauRen 5 and Sarah 3. And LauRen, you've got win number 67.
Sarah, great job.
Thanks.
Not quite a win, though, so you know what we want to hear before we let you go.
Yes, I'm Sarah, and I can't beat LauRen.
It's always good to have our good friend, psychic medium, Jessica Mangum, in the studio. Good morning, Jessica.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm here. I'm awake. It's a beautiful day.
It is. We asked Jessica to come in this week because we wanted to get... are you okay over there?
No. This mic does its... Okay, there you go.
We're having some mic issues.
Okay. All right. Now the mic is okay?
There you go. But, you know, that mic, pops you in the face sometimes if you don't,
Yeah, I have a fat lip now.
maneuver it perfectly.
Here, hold on. Let's move it towards your face.
Yeah, that's basically what it does. I
So-
used to sit there all the time and we'd get popped 3 times a show.
Our good friend Jessica Mangum is here. She was here on Halloween, and we did a lot of readings for people who had family crossed over on the other side, loved ones crossed over on the other side. And it was a great show, one of our higher rated shows. And you can go look at the videos on our YouTube channel too, right, LauRen?
Yep, you sure can. At the ML Morning Show.
So we said, Jessica, why don't you come in and let's talk about 2025 because it's on everybody's radars already, right? So as a psychic medium, somebody with the tarot cards, somebody who brought in a crystal ball on Halloween, and we want to know, what are we looking at as we head into the holidays and we start talking to family and friends about 2025? How are we looking?
Well, I'm going to do a card reading. That's okay, right?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So
Yes.
everybody take a nice big deep breath and breathing in, letting 2024 go. It's been quite a year. I don't know if you're with me, but everyone just kind of ground.
Listen, I think forget the political stuff, even non-political stuff.
Yeah.
If your candidate won, your candidate lost, you still had a year.
Yeah.
Like
There was a
anybody
lot.
and everybody I know had a year.
Oh, I
Yeah.
think everybody was worn out by the time we got to election day to begin with.
Yeah.
So, and then whatever's going on in your personal lives
Yeah.
too, you know?
Big
Yeah.
Al, did you take your breath? Let me hear you take your breath. There's Big Al. There you go. All right.
Big breath.
All right.
Okay, so I'm spreading the cards out
So this is kind of a blanket reading for everyone.
Yes.
Okay.
because we're all connected. We're all connected. Okay, so
There's some card music for you.
some magical card music. Beautiful. Oh, I love this. Okay.
Oh, good.
Thank goodness. I'm going to take a deep breath again. All right. So the central card is everyone's going through a little bit of heart conflict. On the YouTube video, I'm going to show the cards. They look like this. Yep. We're going through heart conflict because that's actually going to make us stronger. You know, when you have a friend that you have an argument with, and when you get through that argument, you have a discussion, everything's fine after that. That was 2024.
Okay.
All right.
We're getting through that wall, the obstacles, and then our opportunity is going to be Spider-Woman. So yeah,
What's that mean?
that means everybody should be meditating and not. It's hard to meditate. So doing the things that bring you joy, doing the things that bring you some clarity, and that could be reading. It could be just being still.
Vacationing, LauRen?
Are you taking any vacations?
I am.
Yes.
Yes.
She loves
of course I am.
vacation.
I did read that after election night that all of the apps for meditation like skyrocketed to like 90%.
Yeah.
Like everybody downloaded something just to like woosah and chill out.
Yeah. Get back to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's huge. So when these things happen, they're drastic, they're changes. We need to do that. We need to get centered. And it says it in the crown space too. So in the head space. Our minds, I don't know about you guys out there, but mine's been all over the place. So it's hard to meditate, but just like I said, taking a deep breath is going to help with that. I'm not going to show you the card because it's a bunch of swords and they're kind of scary to look at.
Okay.
But you create your reality. So what I would suggest that people do is write down what is 2025 going to look like. Maybe we talked about burning things, right?
Yeah.
So writing down 2024, like the things you want to let go of.
Oh.
Right. Emotionally, mentally, physically, even spiritually, the things you don't want to hold on to. So that moving into 2025, you can manifest something really positive.
I like that.
Control what you can control.
That's
Yes.
right.
And you know me, I love a burn party, right? But I've never actually like written down things I want to get rid of, except for maybe ex-boyfriends, and burned those.
Yeah.
But I haven't done this in years, but I used to make vision boards at the end of the
Yes.
year for what I wanted the next year.
Yeah, yeah.
And I haven't done it in years, but maybe, I mean, it sounds like maybe I should be burning and doing that this year.
Yeah. I used to do workshops with vision boards. It's a great way to really, I used to like making collages,
Yeah.
right? I forgot about that. So absolutely do a vision board. In the past, I'm not going to talk about that either. It's just like all these swords everywhere.
Yeah. The past is contentious, man.
It really is,
I
but
mean-
it has to be. It makes us stronger.
Right. I mean, think about all that happened in 2024 weather-wise.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, yeah.
weather-wise alone, right?
Yeah.
And then assassination attempts. And I mean, my gosh. Wars, crazy times.
Yeah. So we're going to get through it, everybody. We're going to get through it.
I love it.
In the future, and we can always change the future, right? But I wouldn't, because this is a card of abundance. This is called the Three of Cups. It's overflowing. There's a lot of good things coming in. But again, I do recommend setting what you want, what's more important for you specifically in your life on piece of paper, burning it. Fire is the quickest element of communication to spirit.
Is that why we do the Chinese lanterns and
Yeah.
stuff?
Yep.
There you go,
cool.
Loren.
Cool.
Yeah. You can do that too.
I just did it for my dad's 20-year anniversary. So we did the Chinese lanterns for his
That's so cool.
passing. Yeah.
I lived in Thailand. That's a tradition. So they always honor their ancestors. We don't do that a lot.
No,
Also,
no.
I think they might
but,
be illegal here, so I'm not 100% sure.
I think we need to reinvent the way we look at funerals as well. Like, I'm all about that New Orleans celebration of life.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
if it calls for that, by the way. Obviously, there's some very tragic deaths, but, somebody who's lived a good life needs to be celebrated and it shouldn't be taken as a sad moment, But
I agree.
have you flipped them all?
Nope, there's one more. So
Okay.
there's one in the position of what I call the ancestry. And this is interesting because we have two cards. My cards are cultural. These are Native American. And it doesn't mean that we all need to be Native American, but it means to be in touch with the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And this one's all about working with the elements. So it's interesting. We've been talking about fire. And when I say working with the elements, I mean like air, breathing in air to clear out what we have in our head space, because there's always a lot of stuff going on. Big, deep breath in and breathing out. Taking lots of salt baths, having fire pits out back and just letting go of the past and breathing in a beautiful, bright, abundant, because it already says it right here, future. Yeah. So, and this is White Buffalo Woman, if anyone knows who she is. She's a little bit of a goddess. She came in to teach essentially how to work with elements to better our spirit world, to better our spirit life, our connection to that which we believe in that's purest in our heart space.
And
right?
those are all random cards that you pulled out.
Oh, yeah, out of a 78 card deck.
That's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Jessica actually is going to be out and about, and you guys can check her out on December 7th at Sanctuary Imports in Plaza Midwood for the Yuletide Psychic Fair. Doors open at 11:30 on the 7th. First come, first serve. Readings from 12 to 6. You're going to do 6 hours of readings?
I'm going to take a break. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted.
You do an hour reading in here sometimes for us, and you're exhausted. Poor thing. Anyway.
No, I leave. You guys don't see me jumping around in the parking lot.
She's going to give you a full amount of time, 18 minutes, and the price is going to be $50, which is great. Lots of readers and healers and shopping. Once again, December 7th at Sanctuary Imports. You can go say hi to our friend Jessica Mangum and get a reading done. Now, since we have you here, and you're here already, do you mind talking to some people? But instead of trying to communicate with people on the other side, let's maybe give people a 2025 outlook. All right, Jessica Mangum is here in the studio, psychic medium. Today, she's going to read to you with her cards what's happening in your future for 2025. We have her drop in for just a little while. We'll do one round of calls for our audience here, and then we'll remind you where Jessica's going to be so you can go stop by and say hi to her on December 7th. But this is Marty. Good morning, Marty.
Hey, how are you?
Good. You're on with Jessica Mangum, psychic medium, on Mangum Monday. What do you got?
I'm just curious on if I have 5 kids, and we're all into an uproar right now because one of the siblings likes to stir the pot. So I'm just wondering if we're going to come together and knock all this nonsense off.
Aw, well, I'm giving you a hug. I've got, 3 kids. One that's at home right now. It's a lot. It's a lot to handle just to begin with. I can't imagine 5
Yeah,
Okay.
They're grown. They're from 28 to 20.
Yeah, that's called a litter. Once you get over 4, you have a litter of kids.
Stop.
Yes, and I have 6 grandbabies.
Aw,
That is a
congratulations.
Big holidays at your house.
And I just moved into a shoe. Okay. Good Mother Goose
Don't
joke.
tell us you have like 12 animals, okay?
No animals.
Okay.
Oh, that's me.
All right. So, Marty, what was your specific question for Jessica?
Are me and my kids going to come to an agreement and have the love that we once had?
Okay. Will
Yes,
there be
you
family
are.
closeness again?
You are. There's going to have to be some conversations, though. So, central right now is you're the centered part of the wheel. And so you're keeping everybody together, and there are going to be some conversations. I can see that in the future. There's the card that's there is the 5 of Wands in my deck. That means that there's going to be conflict, but it will be resolved in a way that is helpful for all of you. So I think the most important card here is what's called a major arcana. It's the Hanged Man. It does not mean that someone's going to hang.
Okay.
It means that there's a new shifting perspective. I'll hold it up for the camera. It's one of my favorites. There's a rainbow in it. There's a lot of looking at things from a different angle. And with the one that's stirring the pot, because we all have a family member, maybe not all, but a lot of us have a family member or friend that does that. You just have to, if you can, visualize this person as God or the universe would see them, like the creator, whatever you want to call that energy, in this place of light. If you can visualize that as the center spokes of the wheel, that will help heal a lot of this discordance that you have going on. So there will be conflict, but the conflict will come to resolution. Your ancestors are very much with you. There's the love card in your ancestor. Yeah, and your family. So there you've got support.
Thanks, Marty.
From that angle.
That's good. That's good. So, yeah, she just has to kind of face it, and then she'll have resolution.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we don't want to face it.
Well, she's had conversations. It has to be very, very calm.
Okay.
She has to really process it first and then have a conversation.
Jessica Mangum, psychic medium, you are on. This is Anonymous. She wants to know her marital status for 2025. Good morning, Anonymous.
Ooh.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I've been contemplating for probably longer than I've actually been married. It's not simple. It's not as simple. I mean, I know a lot of people think, oh, it's marriage and divorce. You either do it or you don't.
Right.
I have a very complicated situation, and I don't know if I just stick it out and deal with it. I mean, it's not like horrible or anything. It's
all right. Well,
you're unhappy.
It's not healthy.
Yeah, right,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
The cards are going to do the talking, Anonymous.
Okay. So in the mind space, there's a lot of emotional stuff tied to this. And it feels like, there's a lot. It feels like a spider web, but like a twisted spider web. There's a lot going on. In the center, you have a lot of strength. That's what they're pronouncing right here. It's the strength card. And that is in the position of how you see yourself and kind of where you are right now. That being said, the opportunity card is about money, material things, and what I'm getting is that it's like there's a lot of money material things associated with that's kind of keeping you from making this decision, but all things considered, you have a choice. There's a contract in the future. It's interesting because Bridget of Ireland's showing up, which tells me too that you're kind of a healer. But that being said, this is all part of a contract, and you're going to come to grips with your utmost truth so that you can have conversations with people, and they may or may not understand. I can see there's a lot of judgment. I don't know if that's the right word surrounding this, but yeah, and then. Yeah.
So it's interesting. You're talking about the contract or like the like money or things of needs.
Yes.
I mean, Anonymous, are you in a relationship or are you in this marriage and you're afraid to get out of it because you're afraid maybe financially it'll be a struggle for you?
Look at you interpreting.
I mean, I've done the radio show for a long time.
When she said that, it made a lot of sense. Yes, there's a lot of things that would drastically change.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
They would.
It would be a very complicated.
Yep.
Okay.
That's showing up oddly in your ancestry. There's, let me add a card to this so I can see. In your ancestry, there's a lot of emotional stuff, meaning like your family, like your mom's side ancestry is what's coming to the forefront. And I want to keep it brief because we're on the radio, right? But at the same time, I want to clarify. This emotional upset that's going to happen with the people surrounding this decision that you're going to make may be just part of what you have to do in order for you to serve what's in your best interest. It's like if you're happy on the inside and you are at peace because you're not being, they're showing me a doormat. You're not being, what's the word, respected or like taken seriously?
Yeah, she's being a doormat. She's being walked on.
Yeah, or something. Then you're stepping into your power. So do you see where I'm going with all this?
Yes.
Okay, so write about it. And then come see me on the 7th of December.
All right. Thanks, Anonymous. You know, when you mentioned like you see a lot of money or like finances or something like that, it reminds me of like a guy who might be in a relationship and knows that maybe it's over.
Yeah.
And he's saying, well, let me buy you a new car. Let me buy you a ring. Let me buy you a tennis bracelet. Like, let me keep you in my life and let's stay married because of my financial needs. And let's just keep Band-Aiding what the real issue is, you know? That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, there's a lot of Band-Aiding. I can see, see with her, it's, I can see why she's saying it's complicated. It's funny how much I want to express on the air.
Well, we want to say thanks to Jessica Mangum for dropping by. Mangum Monday. She says 2025 looks much better.
Yes.
Did a couple readings for Kelsey and Wendy and everyone else who we didn't get to today. December 7th at Sanctuary Imports in Plaza Midwood. It's the Yuletide Psychic Fair hosted by our LauRen.
I'm not. I don't think.
You guys can't afford the Loren's fee.
I wish I had the gift. I do not have the gift.
The Yuletide Psychic Fair, doors open at 11:30. First come, first serve. Readings from 12 to 6. Jess's readings are for 18 minutes, and you can get down there and get a real serious reading from, and a longer reading than you could on the radio.
Yeah.
And you're going to be there with a bunch of other psychics as well?
I will, and healers.
Very cool.
And books and crystals and beautiful things.
Go see our friend, Maney and LauRen Morning Show's very own Jessica Mangum, December 7th at Sanctuary Imports in Plaza Midwood. Thank you, Jess, for dropping by on a Mangum Monday. Did you have fun at our get-together the other night at the Maney house, by the way?
I did, yes. And there was quite the platter there.
Oh, my gosh. LauRen made a small, quote-unquote, charcuterie board.
It was like 3 feet by 3 feet.
It wasn't that big, was it?
There was a ton of food there. Yeah. She thought the Mangum football team was coming.
That's it.
But no, it was good. It was a good time. I love meeting your husband, Chad.
Yeah.
Hanging out and having good conversation. So psychic medium Jessica Mangum in the studio. We call it Mangum Monday. Mm-hmm. And Jess came in and gave some readings to people on what their 2025 looks like. And she says overall 2025 is going to be a little bit better than 2024.
Love that for us.
Maybe not so many drastic issues.
Not as much drama.
You came in on Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
When the veil between the living and the dead is the thinnest, the most hallows of Eve. How's that for a setup? But we had several people contact you that day, and you did readings for people on the other side, including one guy. One woman said that her ex-husband had passed away, but she didn't believe the reason why.
Yeah.
And you confirmed the reason why for them.
Yes.
And
I'm careful how I say it too. You gotta be careful how you.
Yep. And not that we want to drum up old feelings and stuff, but
we can burn them. We can burn it.
But but that kind of hung out with you for a little bit, which is so interesting as somebody who's not psychic to understand that, like, Jessica started feeling a hurt in her stomach.
I was going to say you feel it.
Yeah. So there are a lot of different gifts associated with the energy fields, and I'm not going to get into chakras and all that, but that's a root chakra, so at the base of the spine area, gift where you can physically feel people's stuff. So a lot of nurses have this, a lot of doctors, a lot of people who are medical intuitives. And I had to learn that I actually had it too. It's like you hold, for example, a crystal, and you can feel the energy from that. So when she called in and I felt this, I thought I was going to throw up.
Oh, yeah. So Jessica, like behind the scenes, she goes, I got to run to the bathroom when we went to commercial.
Yeah, I didn't throw up.
Okay.
So I didn't do that. But
feel free to in our bathroom. It's seen a lot of action like that. Loren's been in there several times.
Stop.
Especially when you were pregnant.
I was just going to say when she's pregnant.
Yes.
Yeah, but
I get that.
There was actually somebody that you spoke to that day that you said like kind of keeps or was in touch with you for a long time.
Yeah. So the caller's name was Amber, and her sister had passed. And I was talking to Amber, and I'm like, oh, your sister's here. She loves you. The usual, like, what you'd think a medium would say, right? So there's that general thing. But then after I hung up with her, I kept seeing the color purple, and I'm like, Prince, and like the whole Purple Rain, and
right.
So I don't know if there's a correlation. This is what I have to do. It's like I'll just put out there what's coming to me, and then it can either fall where it needs to land. But something important about the color purple.
Okay,
could even be the movie The Color Purple. The Oprah whole thing.
But we didn't talk about that on air. You didn't get the color purple while we were talking to Amber.
No. It was like,
but it was something that she was consistent about, right?
She was, and I felt her. She was so disappointed because not at me, or just because she really wants to be in contact with her sister. So that's why I do what I do, because there's this reassurance that people are that we're not alone, And there's also this part of our human self that it's like, am I making this up, or is this even a
right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a weird. It's a lot to push through. After 10 years of doing this, you kind of learn that it's like you just tell people what they need to hear, and it usually makes them cry.
So
then they need to.
Yeah.
So, but for you, it's like we haven't gotten back in touch with Amber again.
No.
And what would you tell her?
I tell her I love her. Her sister loves her. Just to embrace what's around her when she sees the color purple. And you're wearing purple today. That's interesting, isn't it?
I know. Charlotte Hornet's purple.
That's right.
And is Amber's sister still? Does she still? You said she was like with you for a while. How, like all day?
We went shopping together.
Yeah,
I mean, got her milk and groceries.
I mean, like, did you steal Amber's sister from her?
No, she just delicately came in and was like, "Hey, I mean, I know she needs to be reassured because her sister Amber's going through some stuff. Like, I feel this, and so to hear that from her sister, that her sister's looking out for her, that's the message."
But you don't get that with every caller.
I do to some degree, but not like that. It was like her sister. Sometimes people come in and it's like, yeah, because I have parameters set up. So yes, let me get clear about this. If someone comes in and they continue to kind of pelt at me, and they're very polite, they really are. I'll be like, okay, I'm going to say something, because sometimes I'm hesitant to say things.
I would be.
Yeah. I used to go into the grocery store and get all sorts of information.
Because you're around so many people.
And I'd be like, oh my God, it was overwhelming that I had to set up a boundary. And I talk about that a lot.
I asked Chad, Jessica's husband, what it's like being married to somebody who's, got the psychic gift. And he starts laughing, and he told a story about how they went on vacation, and you guys were sitting at the bar, and you went to the bathroom, and you were gone for about 15 minutes. And he's like, I know exactly what she's doing.
An hour.
Oh, was it an hour? Okay.
Yeah.
He goes, I know exactly what she's doing. And then sure enough, you came back. You're like, I just met the most amazing person. And he's like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's one of my favorite stories. I was at a party this past Saturday, and someone was asking me, like, how did you know you needed to use this gift? And we have a timeshare in Pensacola, and they have a dueling piano bar that we love going to. And Chad and I just sit and hang out, and it's our time together. And so, yes, I went to the bathroom, and then I'm washing my hands, and water, again, conductor of that energy. And there's a woman next to me, and she's washing her hands, and she has her head down a little bit. And all of a sudden, this man starts talking. And I'm like, oh dear. And he's not in, he's up there. And he's like, that's my wife. And I said, oh, okay. So tell me more about this. And he said, just tell her I love her and that it's okay. And I didn't know what he was talking about, right? So
And you hadn't exchanged pleasantries with this woman
not
yet.
at all. She's washing her hands.
You're
It's
literally
so
just standing
awkward.
next to her.
Holy
I mean, it's
shit.
almost as bad as standing next to someone in the urinal, right? Because that's more vulnerable, I suppose. But yeah, I tapped her on the shoulder. I'm like, I'm so sorry. This is so like, I'm invading your space because I'm very careful about that too. I'm like, your husband is here talking to me. I think he's passed. And she said, yeah. And she starts crying.
Oh my God.
And he had passed months ago. And she was on a date. And he was telling her it's okay.
Jesus.
Did you get chills? It's
No, but I mean, I can only imagine, like,
yeah, the grief that
It's like
she was,
Ghost.
the guilt.
right.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sure if he had, passed recently, then it's like one of those things too. You go out for the first time and you're like, am I doing the right thing? And,
Yep.
and she's probably struggling with that behind the scenes. And then for him to pop in and run into you is like fate.
What does
Yeah.
she tell the date? Like, Chad, your
I'm sure
husband.
she didn't say anything.
But she was gone for an hour.
Well, Chad asked if I fell in.
Maybe he thought it was not going well at that
Yeah,
point
right?
left.
Right?
Or, that she had,
that's so
girly stuff
interesting,
going on. But I think the thing that hit me the hardest was I had doubts in my head about whether or not I should be doing this for so many reasons. You can imagine. People don't understand. They judge. It's scary. All the things.
Yeah.
You watch The Shining and all these other movies where media just blows it out of proportion. But she stood up, tears just streaming down her face, and we hugged each other. And she's like, I'm so glad I met you.
Yeah.
And I was like, me too. I could feel it in my heart.
You stay in touch with her?
No.
No.
I mean, it was like I said what I
Yeah.
needed to say, but there was still this symbiosis that
Yeah.
you can't. That's real. So many things are just not. That was real, and I needed to hear that. It's not about me. It's about the message for others.
Yeah.
and
Interesting.
that's tricky. So. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jessica. For those of you listening to this, JessicaMangum.com is where you can go and find out information, including where she's going to be on December 7th here in Charlotte. If you're listening to us in the Charlotte area, there's a psychic fair, so you can go check that out. Jessica, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, guys.
How about the top fast food restaurants men take women to on their first dates?
Wait, fast food restaurants
Yeah.
for first dates?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm listening.
I mean, not everybody has the budget for a big sit-down
No.
dinner or lunch, right?
I mean, I know, but sometimes even a picnic is a little bit more romantic than
I mean, yeah, you can easily spend
Wendy's.
you can spend $100 on a meal, and someone you're not even sure you like yet, which is why some daters are ditching the fancy restaurants in
Get
a
that.
new trend in favor of a more laid back and more affordable option. A new survey from datingnews.com asked 3,000 American men which fast food restaurants they'd take a woman to on the first date. Number one?
I mean, you know where I'm going, and it's probably not even in the top 10.
No, well, I have the top three.
Okay, well, I'm going to Arby's.
No,
like,
that's
if
not
we're
in there.
going to a fast food restaurant, Arby's is my jam.
No Arby's. Number one was Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
Number two, Dairy Queen. That's not bad. You can get the ice cream, too. Get
And
a burger and ice cream.
I think ice cream's a good date.
Yeah, I do too. That's a good one. Sonic Drive-In and Pizza Hut tied for 3. Now, Pizza Hut to me doesn't. I don't see Pizza Hut as a drive-through, but it is. Some Pizza Huts
Yeah.
literally have a drive-through.
Remember the personal pan pizzas? I don't even know if they still
Yeah,
have them.
you got
but-
them at the drive-through.
Yeah.
Wendy's, McDonald's, and Taco Bell all rounded out the top. But listen to these stats. Most women don't seem to mind dining at a fast food chain, with 66% of them from the datingnews.com poll saying they're okay with a guy asking them on a first date to a place like McDonald's.
Okay. It's casual. I mean, if you're not 100% sure that you're into it,
Right. And you're just getting to know someone.
yeah.
For 41%, as long as the venue has good vibes and the date wants to have fun, they're all in. Around 40% of women say they'd be more willing to accept a date at the drive-thru if the person was just upfront and honest about their budget.
Yeah.
And some say they don't even need food to be part of the date. 26% of people say they'd be fine with just getting coffee or getting to know each other on a walk in a park.
Exactly. That is like grab a coffee, take a walk. I like that date a lot.
You're down with that one?
Yes.
Okay, so there you know. If you want to date LauRen, don't take her to Taco Bell.
I don't know. I do love me some Taco Bell though.
Take her to Arby's.
Yes.
And then pitch a walking date. Could this be the luckiest person in the world?
Who? Hopefully it's me.
No, it's this guy, John Christensen, although he's from Florida like you.
Oh.
He's a tree trimmer, and he miraculously survived something that has people thinking, including doctors, that maybe he's the luckiest man in the world. He's climbing a tree like he does for his job, and during the tree climbing, there was a traumatic incident where he was stung over 100 times by bees. And then he fell 30 feet from a bucket truck.
Oh, my gosh.
He was trimming trees in Citrus County when he accidentally disturbed a beehive, prompting an aggressive swarm. Trapped in the bucket and unable to escape, he jumped, hitting a roof of a home before tumbling to the ground. They just came straight at me. I couldn't get them off of me, he said.
He's a cat.
Despite being allergic to bee stings and dropping 30 feet and landing on a home's roof and then rolling to the ground.
How do you walk away from that?
With no broken bones and no injuries.
But he did get stung a bunch of times.
His coworkers rushed him to the hospital where doctors were amazed at his recovery. No broken bones, no internal bleeding, and whatever they treated me with at the hospital was a miracle because all the swelling went away.
Wow.
A bee expert suggests that maybe the swarm was made up of aggressive killer bees, given the unusually number of high stings he got, over 100.
I'm not laughing at him, but I do remember when I was little.
Sounds like you're laughing at him, LauRen.
I'm not laughing at him. I'm actually laughing at my dad.
Okay.
So my grandmother asked my dad to like do something in the yard, like dig something or I don't know, but he was out there with a shovel. And
when he was a kid?
No,
okay.
I remember this. As a kid, I remember watching this.
Okay.
And my dad dug into my grandmother's yard and hit an underground nest of hornets or bees or something. And he was out there, fighting himself, like smacking himself like all over the place. And my dad did nothing in the yard that wasn't in a pair of jorts and high socks and no shirt, okay? This poor man got stung everywhere.
Oh, man. Poor guy.
He was tough as nails, though.
Well, he's like this guy. The doctor told this guy he's either superhuman or the luckiest person in the world. By the way, he's now going to work in bee suits to prevent future encounters.
I would think so.
So here's a question we have for y'all. How'd you almost die?
A little light conversation for a Monday morning.
But for real. Maybe you were in a bad car accident. Survived. Maybe your house caught on fire and you had to run out. I don't know.
Yeah.
How did you almost die? Everything short of murdering. We want to hear about how someone broke into your house, put a knife to your throat.
Right.
That's for the cops. But for us, how'd you almost die? What happened? What was your superhuman thing that pulled you through? 704-570-9595. Were you up in the mountains in the Western Carolinas hiking? Got your leg caught in a rock overnight and cut your leg?
That would be scary.
Cut your leg free so that you can go? That happened to somebody in Australia, I think I heard. They were on a whitewater rafting trip, fell out of the boat, and their foot somehow got caught in a rock. Their head was above water, but they couldn't escape. And the survivors, what am I trying to think? The medics couldn't get him unlodged from the rock. So they cut his leg off.
Oh, my gosh.
But that leads us to ask the question, what was your brush with death? Why are you a miracle to be alive? Why is it a miracle? Let's say hi to Heather. Hey, Heather.
Hi.
So, Heather, what's the miracle story that we want to hear?
Okay, so I was actually a baby at the time, but my family and I lived in Germany, and we were coming back to see family, and we had tickets on a Pan Am flight. And we get to the airport, and my dad just had a bad feeling all day. He was, really uncomfortable. He was like, I really don't want to fly. And we're literally already checked in and at the gate, and my dad just backs out. He's like, I don't want to get on a plane. And my mom's really irritated, but she listens, and it ended up being the Pan Am flight that blew up.
Oh my gosh. He just had that intuition not to get on.
I guess so. It was crazy. To this day, he didn't say much. He was just like, I just really didn't want to get on the plane.
Wow.
We ended up taking another flight, and when we landed in New York, for the other flight, my mom called my grandparents, and they were freaking out.
Yeah, that plane blew up over Lockerbie, Scotland.
Correct, yeah.
And it was one of the things that changed the way we fly, because before that, you could check a bag at the airport and somehow not be on the flight. They didn't match your bag to the passenger.
If you could fly standby and go on a sooner plane or something like that.
Yeah, so somebody just put the bomb on board, and that's number one. Number two, Heather, it kind of hits home for me as well, because I remember I was in, I want to say the 8th grade. I think it was 1988, right?
I believe so.
Yeah,
It's pretty
and so I grew up in northern New Jersey, and there was someone in my class whose dad was on that flight.
Oh.
And
Oh my God.
yeah, they talked to her. She shows up in the local news on anniversaries and stuff. And the families just received, not long ago, within the last couple of years, the families just received settlements. And I think the person who was responsible tried to get out.
But
and then
they're not even around anymore, that airline.
Yeah, well, I guess whatever company, absorbed them took over. But yeah, scary stuff. And you get that. You get that feeling. I mean, listen, it's crazy, and stuff happens for a reason. Hi, Josh. Josh.
Hello. Yes.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for being on the Maney and LauRen show. What happened to you? How did you almost die?
Well, I was riding my four-wheeler and testing out new things I had done to it. I had it jetted and tuned and everything on a main road, on a street. I tested it. My back brakes locked up at about 70 miles an hour and spun me off into a tent.
Ooh. How old were you?
I was 23 at the time. This was back in 2006. I got rushed to CMC, Maine from Fort Mill, and I was unconscious for 2 days.
Holy cow.
I woke up. I didn't remember a lot of stuff, but
when you say you didn't remember a lot of stuff, is it like I didn't remember what happened, or I didn't remember like my family?
I didn't remember to put my helmet on.
I did not have a helmet. I did not remember a lot of stuff from my younger life, I guess you would say. I remember who my family was. I remember that people from schools, I knew their faces, but I didn't know their names.
Wow.
Still to this day. But I've learned from that. I learned to if I'm on a floor or anything like that, I will wear a helmet.
Yes.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, smart move, man. But yeah, you survived. Hard to believe. Maybe you weren't. Maybe you wouldn't be here to talk to us. We appreciate it.
Exactly, and I'm very thankful for God that He allowed me to stay, because I have a family I'm very happy to have now, and they are my life.
Selfishly, we're thankful too, since it's Thanksgiving week, so we have another listener as well, LauRen. Every listener counts.
That's right.
So thank you, God, for giving us Josh. We appreciate it.